Good morning students. Today we are going to learn just about photocatalysis and the principle involved in photocatalysis. So let us discuss this. So photocatalysis is the process in which we are using photocatalyst. Already you know what is meant by catalyst. So catalysts are the material which alters the rate of the reaction, and if any catalyst, if it works in presence of light, it is called photocatalyst. So the photocatalyst is the material that functions as a catalyst when it is exposed to a light. The examples are titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, which is mentioned in your syllabus. The photocatalytic activity, that is PCA, depends on the ability of a catalyst to create hole electron pair, and which further generates free radical when the hole is interact with moisture present in air. So this part we are going to learn in detail when we will discuss about principles of photocatalysis, which is important, and based on this principle the application of photocatalysis depends, that will be applied in that application segment. So there are two types of photocatalysis. The first one is a homogeneous photocatalysis. So in homogeneous photocatalysis, where both the reactants and photocatalyst both exist in the same phase, physical states, and here the reactive species is hydroxyl free radical, that is OH dot. There are two examples which we are going to learn or we can discuss under homogeneous photocatalysis. The first one is ozone system. The mechanisms of hydroxyl free radical production by ozone system involve two paths. The first, ozone is interact with a radiation, that is light, to form oxygen and nascent oxygen. This nascent oxygen further react with the moisture present in atmosphere, and there is a formation of two hydroxyl radical 2H dot 2H dot. Even there is a possibility that nascent oxygen reacts with the water and there is a formation of hydrogen peroxide. This hydrogen peroxide further decomposes to form two hydroxyl radicals. The second system which we are going to learn is a photophantom system, which involves Fe+2 or Fe+2 H2O2 system. The mechanisms of hydroxyl free radical production involve following steps. The ferrous reacts with hydrogen peroxide to form OH dot, that is hydroxyl free radical, Fe+3, that is ferric ion, and OH minus. That Fe+3 further may react with hydrogen peroxide, and Fe+3 converts to Fe+2 plus HO2 dot plus H plus. Also Fe+2 reacts with OH dot to give Fe+3 plus OH minus. Fe+3 also reacts in presence of light, especially UV light, and it forms free radicals as it is shown in next reactions. The efficiency of phantom type process is mainly influenced by the concentration of hydrogen peroxide, the pH of the medium, and the intensity of UV light. The advantage of this system, it is a more efficient process, and it can work even in sunlight with the wavelength up to 450 nanometer. The disadvantage of this system is it works only at low pH, that is in acidic medium, because at higher pH, that is a basic medium, ion will precipitate. Now the second category of catalysis is heterogeneous catalysis, where catalyst and reactants are in different phases. It includes the reactions like mild or total oxidation, dehydrogenation, hydrogen transfer, water detoxification. Water detoxification means removal of toxic material from the water. It's called water detoxification, gaseous pollutant removal, etc. In all these cases, generally we will use a solid catalyst. So, and the reactant will be either in gaseous phase or a liquid phase. So this is what heterogeneous catalysis. Now let us see under this heterogeneous catalysis the principle of photocatalysis involves. So the principle of photodegradation or photocatalysis. The common heterogeneous photocatalysts are generally a transition metal oxides, semiconductors, as it possesses. Why we preferred a semiconductor? Because we know that in a metal the conduction band, valence bands are overlap, so forbidden energy gap is 0, and in case of insulator forbidden energy gap is too much, but in case of semiconductor the forbidden energy gap lies in between, and which is sufficient to promote the electron by just visible light from valence band to a conduction band. And when the electron jumps from valence band to a conduction band, there creates a positive hole in a valence band, and free electron will be in a conduction band. That is, this excitation forms electron hole pair. The ultimate goal of photocatalyst design is to facilitate reactions between the generation of hole. That that generated holes will react with reductant and it produces oxidized product, and the excited electron which was there in conduction band it reacts with oxidant and it produces reduced product. So this part we can understand clearly in the further slide. Due to generation of positive holes and electron pair, oxidation reduction reaction takes place at the surface of semiconductor. In oxidation reaction, the positive hole reacts with the moisture present on the surface and it produces hydroxyl radical. So we can discuss whatever theory we have seen, we can understand with the mechanism in the next slides. As you can see in this particular slide, this is a table which arranged the different semiconductors based on their band gap, and as you can see, zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are very important for us because their in band gap energy for titanium dioxide is just a 3.03 electron volt and zinc oxide is 3.36 electron volt. The sunlight energy is sufficient to promote the electron from valence band to a conduction band. So these are the mechanism involved in this photo degradation process. As you can see, we are using a photocatalyst. It may be a titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. When it interacts with or when it is exposed to a radiation, the electron will jump from valence band to a conduction band. So in a valence bond there is a creation of a hole denoted by H plus and a free electron in a conduction band denoted by E minus. So when a photocatalyst is exposed to a radiation, there is a formation of hole and free electron. Later on, this that hole H plus interact with the moisture present in air, that is H2O, and there is a formation of H plus and hydroxyl free radical. After this, actually we have to consider the reactions which is mentioned in the slide, that is at the bottom of that peak. There are two reactions which is written should come in that particular place, that is a 2H plus, that is 2 holes plus 2 water molecule forms 2H plus H2O2, and hydrogen peroxide decompose and it forms 2OH dot, that is hydroxyl free radical. Also see, this is the reaction, these are the reaction takes place because of holes. Now the electrons, the free electrons which are present in conduction band, even it plays an important role. The free electron which was there in conduction band reacts with atmospheric oxygen and it forms superoxide O2 minus. That is at the bottom of that peak. There are two reactions which is written O2 free radical minus plus HO2 dot plus H plus, giving rise to H2O2 plus O2 and further all these reactions. So if you observe this, due to the reactions of holes and free electron, there is a generation of hydroxyl free radical, and this hydroxyl free radical is one of the strong oxidizing agent, and this hydroxyl free radical plays an important role in the application of photocatalyst during a photodegradation of dyes, pesticides and industrial effluent, because pesticides, dyes and industrial effluents are the organic compound. These organic compounds are oxidized by this hydroxyl radical, and that organic molecule gets converted to carbon dioxide, water and some other degradation products. So the main reactive part in this mechanism is a formed hydroxyl radical because of this process. So this particular mechanism schematically can be understood very easily by this particular diagram. You can see in this particular diagram, in the circle at the center circle, actually that circle indicates our photocatalyst. It is either titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Now what happens due to in presence of a light H nu, the electron will move from valence band to a conduction band. Okay, and suppose two electrons are jumped to a conduction band, then two holes are created in valence band and two free electrons are generated in conduction band. Now the moisture, you can observe to the below, the two H2O molecule, that is the water from the moisture, interact with that two holes, and there is a formation of 2 OH dot plus 2 H plus. That means there is a formation of 2 hydroxyl radical. Similarly, to the top, the two free electrons interact with the atmospheric oxygen and there is a formation of O2 minus. Now the organic pollutants, it is generally organic molecule or hydrocarbons, it interact with either OH dot or O2 minus. Both are strong oxidizing species, and it converts organic pollutant, it may be a dye, it may be a pesticide, it may be industrial effluent, to carbon dioxide, water and other degradation product, right? So whatever we have seen in earlier reaction, it can be easily understood by this particular slide. The applications of photocatalyst. So the photocatalyst has a lot of applications in our day-to-day life, especially in this modern life. The first application, a photocatalytic water splitting. So we can split a water to hydrogen using sodium pentalite, that is NaTaO3, which is doped with lanthanum and with a co-catalyst nickel oxide. It can be used in a self-cleaning glass. Now see, especially for a plane, when it is in air, there is a possibility that to the plane shield some dust or some particle may stick or moisture may stick during the rain. Now to clean that particular glass, a special category of glass will be prepared whose surface is coated with titanium dioxide. As the titanium dioxide is a photocatalyst, so the whatever dust material or whatever water molecules will stick to that particular surface will decompose and it will make a surface clean. That is a self-cleaning glass using titanium dioxide. It is also used to prepare disinfection of a water, means we can make a water free from any microorganism using titanium dioxide. Self-sterilization photocatalytic coating. So on the surface of some of the material we can place a self-sterilizing photocatalytic coating. Especially this has one of the important application in present situation of a corona. See, normally titanium dioxide is one of the good you can say photocatalyst. So when the surface is coated with titanium dioxide, so in presence of sunlight, the virus or microbacteria also can decompose by this. So even this trial is going on abroad. Next, oxidation of organic contaminant, that is organic industrial effluent, oxidation of organic contaminant, and it is getting converted to water and carbon dioxide and other decomposed products. conversion of carbon dioxide to gaseous hydrocarbon using water and titanium dioxide. It is one of the application. Seventh, sterilization of surgical instrument. Decomposition of crude oil. Decomposition of crude oil, we are using titanium dioxide nanoparticles. Here titanium dioxide act as a photocatalyst, and using ultraviolet radiation from sun, the hydrocarbon from a crude oil is turned into water and carbon dioxide. So it has a special importance, especially whenever there is a spillage of crude oil by ship tankers. Normally whenever ship tankers carries the crude oil from one location to another location, there will be some leakage of the crude oil due to some kind of accidents, and the crude oil which float on the surface will cause problem to that aquatic species. So the decomposition of crude oil plays an important role in that particular situation. Next, decomposition of water. Already I said, using titanium dioxide we can decompose the water and it gets converted to hydrogen and oxygen, which further we can use it in fuel cells. Decomposition of polyaromatic hydrocarbons. Again, polyaromatic hydrocarbons like triethylamine, which was utilized to a solvent and extract of polyaromatic hydrocarbon, which is generally found in crude oil. Again, this is important to reduce environmental pollutions. Thank you.